Welcome back to the Black Jersey, everybody. It's your boy Max hosting the channel, and today's video is going to be part 1 of 3 for my season review of the All Blacks this year in 2021. And for the first part of this 3-video review, we're going to be talking about the coaching staff behind the All Blacks, and we're going to go into some of the team stats and how this reflects on the coaches. So before we get into anything, I'm going to give a brief overview of who exactly the wider coaching staff is. Greg Feek, who's a former All Black himself, is the scrum coach. Brad Moore is the attack coach, and Fozzie bought him out of his contract when he was the head coach at Scarlets in Wales to do this job. John Plumtree is the forwards coach, so he's coaching them for the line out, things like that. Scott McLeod is the defence coach. He's a former All Black too. He was a centre back in his day. And of course, Ian Foster, he is the head coach, which is not my cup of tea. And a lot of people have started comparing him to Sir Graham Henry circa the end of 2009 for some silly reason. I was one of the possibly loudest critics about the fact that Fozzie could be in line to get the job around the time the 2019 World Cup was coming to a close, because Joe Schmidt, Jamie Joseph, Warren Gatland, etc., weren't available for the job. I wanted to back Razor, but Fozzie got it, and prior to this, Fozzie had never won a trophy as the All Blacks head coach. Whereas we're going to go through the history of the All Blacks at the end of 2009 to explain that these people just don't know what they are talking about. Ted had won 4 NPC trophies from 93 to 96. He was also the head coach of the Blues for the first 3 years of Super Rugby, and they won the competition in 2 of those 3 years. He was also the winner of the 2005 British and Irish Lions series. He had a 59 win percent as the Wales head coach, although they did not make the playoffs in the 99 World Cup when they were hosting. He coached the Lions himself in 2001, whereas the All Blacks won the Tri-Nations, as it was called back then, 4 times between 2004 to 2009. We also won a Grand Slam in our 2008 tour, meaning we beat all 4 of the British and Irish nations on that tour. He also won the Bledisloe Cup 3 times, the Freedom Cup 3 times, and the Bledisloe Cup 6 times from 04 to 09. The loss to France at home that year came because Ted was experimenting with a B-team set of players for the mid-year tests, and he would do this a lot on end-of-year tours as well, because he was clearly building towards the 2011 World Cup. His plan came to fruition and we won. Fozzie's only really concerned about the depth chart, as I explained in previous videos. He's not really testing a lot of these second-rate players against Tier 1 nations. For example, Tupou Vaa'i and Finlay Christie does not even come on against Ireland, and TJ Perenara and Brodie Retallick, who are both having poor games, stayed on the whole time, which is not ideal at all to me. Anyway, over with the statistics for this year. I'm going to explain how they say what we have to say about Ian Foster. So firstly, as you can see on screen, I've got my Excel chart, which I made on the 2011 version, yes, of Microsoft Excel. As you can see, we are lacking possession quite a fair bit through most of the tests against Tier 1 nations we've played this year. I wanted to just show the stats from Tier 1 nations because this can really give us a proper delve into Ian Foster and his assistants' minds, if you will. So yes, our average possession per game is 48.9%, whereas our average territory per game is 46.5%. That there's coming from the lack of turnovers we're winning and the fact that we're kicking away possession too many times. As you can see, we average 22.3 kicks from hand per game. Yeah, if you're inside your own half, inside your own 22, that's cool, but once you're out of your own 22, I expect to see that far less, and I think the All Blacks can get this down to about 15 per test on average, because we made a total of 223 kicks from hand this year. And as you can see as well, in the tests against South Africa, Ireland and France, apart from the win we got against South Africa, we made either more or the same amount of kicks from hand as the opposition, and so you can see we're really paying the price for this. Against Argentina, we won 11 turnovers in our first test against them, whereas our turnover flow got quite quiet on the Northern Tour, and as you can see, we've only averaged 4.5 turnovers per test this year, which is just not good enough. Ian Foster is not selecting tight 5 forwards that can give the loosies and the backs enough of a platform to launch off. As you can see, our Rucks 1 percentage is possibly the greatest strength the All Blacks have going for us right now. We only lost 42 Rucks this year, so our percentage for Rucks 1's very high. Our defence is possibly the best in the world, average of 85.9% for every game tackle. The lineout's pretty good, but as you can see, it kind of fell apart in the games which we did indeed lose, whereas the scrum is going pretty good, apart from when Wyn Jones had to play against us in the Wales game. Man, he's so good. I wish he was an All Black. But yeah, I think the type 5 forwards that we've got right now have devoted too much energy into the set piece to be effective at all around the field. Joe Moody, Dane Coles, Brodie Retallick, the scapegoats I've brought up in previous videos, don't get to the rucks quick enough. So while we've won heaps of rucks where we've got the ball at the breakdown, look, we're not doing the same for the opposition. As you can see from the clip we've got over here on screen, we're just sliding away after we make the tackle so we can have as many players as possible in the main defensive line. Why can't we at least slow down the ruck speed of the opposition? This tactic does not make sense to me. John Plumtree did a far better job with us at Hurricanes. The Hurricanes were piling bodies into the breakdown back when he was their head coach for just the single season in 2019. So why can we not do a similar thing like this now? It just doesn't make sense to me at all. Greg Feek's obviously done a wonderful job with getting our boys up to speed scrum-wise, and because he's got a lot of experienced players, he knows that they're going to listen to what he's coaching them. Look, guys like Angus Ta'avao as the 4th choice tight head prop, that's not good enough. And Tyrell Lomax is conceding too many penalties as well. We've got to do something in the tight head prop area. Maybe Tamaiti Williams can convert back to a tight head or something. Look, we're making a great amount of passes and everything. We're making 6.6 clean breaks per test. As you can see, our average meters run per game is very high. Same with defenders beaten, while we're averaging 4.4 tries per test. All of those are very, very good, and against Argentina in our first test against them, we even got to 792 meters in that one game. Look, everybody knows that the All Blacks are ridiculously talented, so we're always going to make heaps of meters, so really the coaches don't have to do a lot in that area because they're picking from the best talent pool on our planet. But look, the tactics you're seeing on screen right now are just hands down the line, but because we're able to communicate so well thanks to Anton Leonard-Brown and David Havili, whereas we have outside backs with pace to burn, we're always going to score a try no matter what. But if you're seeing simple hands down the line tactics on lesser teams perhaps such as Wales or Australia, you're going to get smacked. You're going to be toast against another tier 1 nation, bro. The All Blacks are just so talented that this crappy, outdated tactic can still work. Ian Foster as well, I think has done terribly with our backline. I've talked very much about how the tight 5 forwards need to get up to speed. Apart from Cody Taylor, I don't think any of our tight 5 forwards are world class right now, although Sam Whitelock is still performing very well. Ian Foster, anyway, on my previous point, is undermining Richie Mo'unga's ability to become a major decision maker in our tier 1 team. Richie Mo'unga is not going to first receiver enough against nations like the French or the Irish, and as you can see, David Havili's the one that's making all the decisions from first receiver, and he's the one kicking this horrible cross kick over to Will Jordan, which is intercepted by Hugo Keenan. And another thing as well is Jordie Barrett is not a first receiver. Jordie Barrett is a decision maker you can rely on when he's far back and he can observe everything. Jordie Barrett doesn't really cope with the rush defense. hence why he's a better fullback than he is a wing, and he's done fantastic work at fullback this year while he's been there. So I don't know why Fozzie's bringing Geordie Barrett of all players into first receiver. It doesn't make sense. Whenever Bowden's in at first 5, he's always at first receiver calling the shots. So why can't Mo'unga do the same thing? Why are other players taking over, and why is Fozzie telling Mo'unga to just remain in the pocket? The guy's got a fantastic tackle percentage, so what's this up about? What's all this about, man? Serious. Whereas over in the midfield, as I've gone on about, David Havili and Anton Leonard-Brown are our best midfield combo now that Havili's converted from a fullback into a 12. He's done a very good job changing positions, considering this is his first full season at, goodness me, inside centre. But David Havili's not a crash ball runner. Why are you using this guy for such a strategy? Look, becoming a bigger man and a crash ball runner, it can be coached, but it takes several years. And so why can't next year we stop using a 12 as the crash ball runner? Ian Foster needs to get rid of this outdated tactic too. He's got to bring in Lester Fainga'a-Anuku at 11 if he's not going to recall Caleb Clark. That way our crash ball runner can be out wider and gain us more meters, whereas you've got Leonard-Brown and Havili to unlock this guy out wide if that's the crash ball runner. Stop using this guy from 12. The 12 and the 13 are the guys who follow through with the 10's plan, or maybe the halfback's plan of the 10's in the bin or something. I'm going to give the All Blacks coaches an F score. I believe they've got the best talent pool on the planet, as I've said before in this video, and they're not doing the amazing things they could with this talent pool. Ian Foster, as I said, he'd never won a trophy as a head coach before this. Yet he was the Chiefs coach for 7 years, man. I don't believe this coaching group is good enough to be the All Blacks coaches. And as I said in the France review, we're not going to make the World Cup final with these people in charge. Maybe if John Plumtree was the head coach himself, we could, but that's all dependent on the assistants once again. And with Ian Foster in charge, I just don't see the boys improving this World Cup cycle. Sorry to give you guys a bit of a black pill perhaps. Anyway, on a brighter note, thank you so much for watching the video, guys. It's always enjoyable to host these videos. If you're ever keen to help out and make a donation, I've got a Patreon account. Or if you don't like Patreon, I've also got a subscriber. Me and the brother Vincent are also making a really cool website where we're going to write articles and stuff for the Black Jersey. We're going to do like match reviews, player ratings, all those kinds of articles. So go down, join the mailing list. I'm going to join back on Instagram rather on the 18th January, kind of having a social media break from that. And also, we are on Discord. If you ever want to have a yarn, come down to the Discord and join us. Click the red button to subscribe, like the video, comment, and I'll see you later, guys.